don't know why I keep having so many disturbing dreams about myself and about my family, but I think I have a pretty good idea. There was this one occasion where I went to the market with my mum and my brother. I was 10 years old. I remember walking along the road, and I remember listening to my own steps and just holding my mum's hands and looking at my own shadow and just playing skipping with my brother. All of a sudden we got to this corner. There was a row of soldiers which slowly approached, and I remember looking at them and being scared, even though they hadn't done anything, just their presence was enough. And I remember hearing their boots, fast and hard, stomping on the ground, and my mother holding onto my hand even stronger. I could feel that she was also afraid. I heard these gunshots, and I turned around to my right hand side where the soldiers were, and I could see them all just hitting the ground and taking their guns out and loading them, and they started shooting back. I was running on the road, and my mum was holding my hand so tightly, and time just seemed to slow down so fast. I remember my brother screaming, "Mama!" And I remember the baskets of bread being spilled on the ground, and the soldiers just crawling on the ground, and I remember the whistling bullets that just went past my head, and all the confusion, and all the pain, and all the sounds have stayed always in my head. I remember running on the street, and I remember seeing this little boy sitting down next to his mother, who's laying down by the gutter, and she was pregnant, and she had been shot at the back. And I remember seeing this little boy just shaking his mom, trying to wake her up. He was so desperately shaking her and yelling out for her, wanting to bring her back to life. And I remember this big sound that just came flying above my head, and it exploded at the back. It was like a big bazooka sound, this big blaze of light that blinded me, which was followed by this big cloud of dust. And I remember falling to the ground and crawling, and my mother yelling out for me and saying, "Doris, Doris, hurry up!" And she was almost crying, and then finally we made it to this home. We went inside the house, and there were about 15 other people who were sheltering inside. And for the next 2 minutes we just waited. We hid under the beds. We heard the helicopter when it came. That was not a good sound, because they became horrifying hunting creatures. And this usually meant that they would bombard the area, or they would shoot at everything that moved. And we heard all these loud noises and screams outside, which only lasted a few minutes, and then it was all silent. It took a while for us to get out because we were still so scared, and my brother wouldn't stop crying. I don't think I cried at that point in time. I didn't know what to feel. I was so overwhelmed by everything. I just know that I was so happy that I was alive and no one in my family was hurt. But when we went outside, it was a different world. There were people laying on the ground, and there was blood running on the gutters. And there was bread which had turned red. are lifeless. As if someone had just taken everyone's voices away. No one would say anything. Everyone started to slowly walk away.